Marshall, Will, and Holly on the routine expedition met the greatest earthquake ever known. High on the rapids, it struck their tiny raft and plunged them down 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost.
Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your stop-motion animated Agent of Awesome, X7, the host of Xenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today, of course, we are going to talk about the final episode of Land of the Lost, first season, that is, called The Circle, which is very accurate for what it is here. It was first broadcast December 28th, 1974. And here we have the title, written by Larry Niven and David Gerrold, as just like the last episode was. And two science fiction writers came up with this wonderful finale. There's, it's not perfect because nothing is, but it's pretty darn close if you look at get past some of the discrepancies. So they're in the old swimming hole here, and Holly is swimming. And we've never seen them wear any kind of shorts the whole time they've been in this very humid atmosphere.
I'm going to give you a run for your money. Can you see her? She's coming up now. Let's get ready. Much better. You stayed under for almost a minute. Come on. Get out of there. I can do better than that.
Whoops. So down goes Will because he brags. Now, how does this happen? He couldn't have just accidentally swam into a tunnel, right? I mean, well, no one will. He just looks at things and does dumb things on a regular basis.
It's a cavern.
And Captain Obvious makes another statement. So he had to have his eyes open and find his way back.
That's pretty good, son. You stayed under for almost 2 minutes.
Dad, there's a cavern.
Where?
Down there. The rock formations look like the ones in the Lost City.
But the Lost City's a long ways from here.
Now, this whole area is honeycombed with caverns and tunnels just like them.
So in they go. And they bring their clothes along with them, see?
Sure is, honey.
Right there, the bag. They brought their clothes with them. Their dry clothes.
Be careful.
Well, they must. I mean, it makes sense that if they were going to be camping, that they would definitely have more than one set of clothes. But for consistency's sake and all, for audience identification, they never really changed their clothes. They wore the same things over and over and over and over, same each one.
The Lost City? I don't know, Will. But it has to lead somewhere.
It's spooky.
Well, yeah, you're underground.
They stack around.
They're dead, Holly.
They look frozen.
I think they're in hibernation.
I hope they stay that way.
Well, this is probably their dormant season. They'll wake up at the right time by instinct. Probably when they...
Now, we've already seen them in their dormant season. This makes me believe that perhaps we got an extra couple of episodes because of how successful the show was, and dumbass Will is holding a torch next to hibernating reptilian bug lizards who don't like the light of the torch at all. And they try to catch him. He runs away. Well, you know how this goes every dang time.
Hurry, Will!
Will can't hurry.
Dad, what happened to him?
I think they've captured him. Now, you keep going. I'm going to have to go back after him.
I'll go too.
No, you won't. Now, go on, Holly. Listen to me.
No, Dad, I won't go without your will.
Go on. Go on.
And now we see and fade to whoops. Dang this desk. Bane of my existence. I need to put in a new order for a desk with boots. sleeves are closed there. In she goes. So the Slee Stacker out there in broad daylight, and Holly throws a couple of crystals at him, which shine. And earlier they couldn't stand the light of the torch. So, when I say it's not perfect, there are some discrepancies. It's going to happen. Nothing's perfect. We shouldn't expect it. It's still jolly well entertaining now, isn't it? All right. Under the water he goes. And so Rick's still looking for the kids, the dumb kids, his dumb kid, because Will is much dumber than Holly, actually, about such things.
Dad, Will, please come out. I don't want anything to happen to you. Please be okay.
So, aside from Grumpy, these are the only time we see the dinosaurs here. And we do get 3 of them, Emily, Spot, and Spike. I don't know what she's worried about. They're traveling in a row, marching along. If she gets off the beaten path, they won't be able to find her. So, it's amazing how they make these caverns just slightly different. So we think that there's miles of them when there really only is, a set or 2. They did such a good job doing that. And all television shows do that to an extent. Hey, Rick's pretty darn smart. Uh-oh. And they woke up a lot of them, not just the 3 we saw, did they? Oh!
That will not be necessary. They cannot harm the Will humans.
Then why don't you tell them that?
That will keep them out. It is unwise to disturb them during the sleeping season. It will only make them angry.
They're always angry. Hey, Enoch, we thought you'd be gone by now.
No, I have been unable to leave. Come, I will show you why.
And thus the conundrum begins. Now, I was approximately 1974, 9.5, I'm closer to 10 years old than 9. And this episode perplexed me greatly. Here she goes. I wonder how deep this pool was, because she took a good dive there. Yep, you're wandering around in circles there, Rick. But he finds Holly comes rushing
You'd
in.
be long gone by now, Enoch. I mean, haven't you been able to open your time doorway?
Many times. But something very strange is going on. I cannot leave the staging area. It is as if the law of conservation of temporal momentum has been reversed. I cannot go home, although there is considerable temporal pressure for me to do so.
What?
I'm sorry you cannot understand ultra-dimensional matrices.
You're talking to a monkey.
It is actually quite simple. I cannot leave here. Nothing can leave here unless an object of equal mass and temporal energy enters.
Well, that means that we can't leave here either, doesn't it? Unless 3 other people come in.
That is correct.
Yeah, that is correct, Captain Obvious.
You should not be here at all. I believe the presence of you and your family are the cause of my problem.
What do you mean?
He's not wrong. Should we start singing again? I won't. I'll spare you that.
It's Earth. Enoch, if I had a parachute right now, I could jump through.
Wait, there is more.
That's us, before we fell in here.
Pay attention now. This is the puzzling part.
That's the rapids we were on.
Daddy, do something!
Enoch, where's the niche for the doorway?
I do not know.
It's a puzzlement. Now, does anybody else?
That's the rapids we were on.
Dang it! Why does it keep doing that? Sorry, people. Does anyone else ever think of the time that Homer and Bart went? He was part of the junior campers, and he went on a raft with, and they were partners with Ned Flanders, and he said that's why we don't call them slopids.
How can that be? Enoch, we're alive. I'm alive now.
He's
Enoch, how can
alive.
this be true?
I think you do not belong here. I think it is your presence here that is disrupting the workings of the time doorway. I think
Good
you
thinking,
must
Enoch.
be removed somehow.
Oh my gosh, I want to title this episode "Daddy Do Something" because you hear that ad nauseum. They could have tuned that down. No, Holly's still wandering. Uh-oh. See, she's got the common sense to hide, even though she didn't need to.
What's you, Dad? I thought you might have been
They're such good little actors. I mean, the whole show is good.
out of the water hole, and I let him have it with a couple of crystals.
That's a good girl. But you should have stayed back there. It's too dangerous wandering around these tunnels. Took me all this time just to find my way.
But she couldn't stay back there.
I had the torch.
We're not going to be able to use this, Holly. Might wake up some more Sleestack.
The glasses you saw were pretty awake already. Besides, it's cold down here. My clothes are still wet from coming back down here.
They look pretty dry, don't they? I mean, also, they don't like fire that much, but they can get out in the sunlight, and they've done that in many other episodes. It's not just been this one. The Sleestack, because we don't need to look here. I'm just going to turn that off for a moment. The Sleestack were played by Scott Fullerton, Jack Tingley, and Mike Westra. So only 3, because they only had 3 costumes.
Then we wouldn't be here.
That is the puzzle. You must have experienced either one or other of the events, yet as you can see, neither event happened to you. The mist of the time doorway did not draw you into the vortex. The raft fell only partway down the falls. You seem to have fallen into space.
But then how did we get here?
As I said, you should not be here. Your presence here is disrupting the balance of the doorways. I must correct that imbalance, or I cannot go home.
They had to repeat this a lot, I'm sure. Even though their audiences were my age, 10, probably 5 through 10 or 15. Uh-oh. More Sarisataka. No Pakuni in this episode at all. So they must be native, one would guess, because Enoch wasn't worried about them leaving. Uh-oh, what will happen?
I can't get through. It seems to be the door.
Enoch, it's Dad and Holly. Let down the barrier. Hey, now, it's okay, Dad. The Sleestack can't get through the invisible barrier.
Okay, and then we get the...
But we've already fallen through the time doorway. That's how we got into this.
So we get more explanations again, and
If we didn't fall through the time doorway, then why are we here?
Enoch turns to Rick to see what could happen. Once again, I think that Rick Marshall was not... This expedition was anything but routine, obviously, but it was also not just.
That is the source of the paradox. The Matrix is locked on to that incident. I cannot use it for anything in that present condition.
Yes,
It's
but
running
we
on
could.
repeat.
If it weren't over a raging river. Enoch, is there any reason why we couldn't throw a rope through there and moor it off onto one of the rocks, maybe?
The sequence moves from the end to the beginning. Your rope would be cut.
Dang. Daddy, do something. I really want to use that subtitle.
Reality, you should have been killed in the waterfall. The time doorway cannot be used for anything until this paradox is resolved. You are here. You are there. Both at the same time.
At least they stopped it. There we go. You took a shot every time you heard her say
I
that?
have a tentative solution.
What?
If I can prevent you from being transported here, then all will be normal again.
But that means we'll be killed.
You have a fine grasp of the obvious.
But we're alive, Enoch.
Yeah, I mean,
Change that. We got in here somehow.
so yeah, the kids that they were aiming this for, I grasped it, he said braggingly, because I'd already begun reading my father's science fiction novels, and time travel was always, it's intriguing, it drives me crazy now, but
That was real. And we're here now.
Daddy, do something!
jeez. Another shot. Shot!
Can you tell us how we got here?
No, I cannot.
Can you help us to get back?
I have said an equal mass must enter here for you to leave. 3 people.
3 people?
Yes, 3.
What about the raft and all of their equipment?
Think about it, Enoch. If they enter, then we can leave.
Yeah.
The time doorway will no longer be locked on that scene, and you can leave too.
Daddy, do something!
I suppose I could save you.
Oops.
It is against the
He
code
can't.
to tamper with the lives of others.
Is it against the code to provide the information?
No, it is not.
Can you tell me how it is done?
Remove a white crystal from the wall. Place it on the table. The doorway will open. The raft will fall.
So the marshals have to leave so Enoch can leave because of what's going to happen here. What about the other, old, the guy that Walker Edmondson plays earlier who just stays down in the caverns with his gun? They didn't leave. How about those 2 people from the Continental Army? They just died here. So did that solve that, or did that because maybe Enoch didn't get there, or he came in at the same time as the marshals did? So there's conundrums here, but of course, the Land of the Lost is just that sort of place. You're never going to get answers because it could change, which is okay.
Daddy, do something!
Another shot. That's like 7. And we're going to hear it again in a moment.
Daddy, do something!
I believe you have resolved the paradox, Rick Marshall.
Will your doorway work all right now?
I don't know. I shall have to test it. Yes. Yes, it works.
Look, it's home.
Can we go through?
You do not understand. You must go through to complete the resolution of the paradox. If 3 people enter the land, then 3 people must leave, even if it is the same 3. Those 3 on the waterfall, they are suspended between 2 worlds until you go through the doorway. You must go home.
You don't have to tell us twice.
Yeah, and all of their stuff is still here. And where are they going to? Are they going to come out there on the cliff? Are they going to? And they're out in the middle of nowhere with no provisions. I mean, they're very handy with surviving. They can survive in the Land of the Lost, full of dinosaurs. They're going to be all right. But they don't have a cell phone to call anyone. They don't know where. I mean, they don't have a compass. Will's got his water bottle, and that's it. I mean, I understand. I'm thinking too much about it. But what happened after this? I'd like to know what happened. They could probably became science fiction writers because they'd write it down, no one would believe them, so present it as science fiction, right?
Come on, Will.
Come on.
Wait a minute.
Aww.
Mr. Enoch, thank you.
Enoch, we hope you get home too. We know you have a mission to save your people, and well, you know what we mean.
Farewell, my friend.
Live long and prosper. Aww.
A custom of your people?
It means thanks and good luck.
As you know, we are not very expressive. Genactic.
Genactic.
It means good health, good life, and go in peace.
Come on, Holly, let's go home.
Oh yeah, there might be a little Star Trek in here, and there they go. So when we were watching this, I remember watching this way back when, 1974, at the end of the year, and thinking, "Wait, what's going on here? They just ended the show, and there can't be any more episodes now, right?" We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we're right to the beginning. So there's Grumpy making his noise, and Enoch's not helping him, but that's, a year ago or a couple of years. We don't even know how long anyone's been here. Once again, is this like the time in Pellucidar where time can pass but no time can pass? There he goes. Now this is a new shot.
Looks like a Tyrannosaurus.
Haven't seen anything like that on Earth before.
Well, that's because they haven't existed for 70 million years.
What are we gonna do?
They actually got that right for the most part. 65 million years, 66. It's 70 million is fine. What's 5 million? 4 or 5 million between friends.
Boy.
They left everything. Of course you would too. They must have gone back to get all their packs and stuff.
Now, this looks like a pretty safe place to stay until we find out where we are or how to get back home.
Yeah, but Dad, we don't even know where home is.
We'll get back home, Will. It may take us a little while, but we'll get back. I know that.
And assuming that
Yes, my friends, you will. Someday. The cycle is now complete. I can go home to my time.
and he will too. But although we didn't get to see that either, that would have been I'm surprised we didn't get a lot of fan fiction or books about this, stories about what happened after. I follow David Gerald on Facebook, and maybe I kind of like to ask him about that, but I don't want to be a pest. And he's busy enough as it is. So, but what did he save? Did he save Altrusia from turning into the land of the lost? Did no one believe him? Maybe he was the Jor-El of Altrusia. They might have kicked it. It might have been his time experiments that caused it. We'll never know. But Enoch's a great character, and I still wonder what the Marshals did after that. So we come to the end of the first season of Land of the Lost, and I'm going to review a different series on Thursdays coming up in the future. I'm not 100% sure what it'll be at this point in time. Probably something live action, and despite Kimba the White Lion being hugely popular. So I'll put it up on a vote as to at least to get a general consensus. I like 17 or 20 episodes, whatever it is. So it's just more difficult when it gets to be longer because it's a little longer bit of time to go through it, unless they're 2-part episodes. I want to stay away from hour-long episodes just because that just would be, I'd have to do part 1 and part 2 as, I can monologue. Be that as it may, I'm going to let Enoch have the last words here after I sign off. And I think the message is sometimes to get what you want, you have to give something up. And I think every one of us knows that. So until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off. Enoch, would you please talk us out?
Genactic, my friends.
When I look all around, I can't believe the things I found. Now I need to find my way. I must find me living in the land of the lost. Living in in the land of the lost.